to Asia-Taiwan. And I'm Thomas Huang from Jananom. And it's our pleasure to welcome Dr. Murali from Jananom Private Limited. And he will be sharing us some of the India biotech landscape.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to say that this is one of the very well organized conference I have been for quite some time. So it's a remarkable work that has been put into. So I'm coming here primarily to talk a little bit about what's the landscape in India, what are the opportunities for cross-border collaboration, as well as introduce my company to you at some point of time. So India is aiming for $100 billion growth in biotech by 2025. So that's the mission that has been set to. Right now they are at the halfway mark between $45 to $50 million. $billion. And the idea is to grow it at a very, very fast pace, at least over 10% year on year for the next 4 or 5 years to see how it can be done. There was a time when Indian biotech industry was growing at 15 to 18% year on year. Now that's now growing, that's slowed down a bit and now it's picking up again. So the whole idea is to see that the ecosystem and the public policies are in place there. I served as the president of the Biotech Association, and I was responsible for the roadmap that was being built by the team at that time for India. And one of the most important things is that the roadmap actually envisions a number of areas that need to be grown. And one of them is the startup ecosystem. So the startup ecosystem is now gaining a lot of traction, a lot of momentum. The government itself is taking initiative to do it in two fronts. One is to facilitate and keep the startup system very, very simple and easy to work with. And the second one is to ensure that the startups also get enough funding from government sources. Now, both these are working very well. So there are currently about 2,669 or about 2,700 startups that the last count we made of. And that's likely to march towards 10,000 in the next few years. So the whole idea is to make them very, very nimble, easy to operate, and also investors come in and don't get taxed heavily, but they are able to come in and invest a lot of money into these young startups. Now the second aspect that has happened is that all these startups do have an ecosystem. So what the government has done is to build several accelerators and incubators across the country. There are several programs that the Department of Biotechnology is actually taking it up. And the whole idea is to ensure that there's enough and more space, common equipment, common space that is available for these young startups to come and set up shop and do things. So this is basically how the outline of the whole startup ecosystem is in India. So, and I will also add one more point to it. The investment climate is very good. About 790 deals were done last year. But the sizes is still not very big. I mean, I would like to see great sizes, big sizes like Taiwan. They were just mentioning about it. We still don't have a IPO market there. There's loss-making companies will struggle. Biotech is not known. So we don't have a Hong Kong exchange like culture where you have listed about 9 companies. We don't have that culture as yet. But the possibility is that in the years to come, I hope such a thing happens as and when we grow up. So that's basically the outline.
Okay, so I do have a few questions, like in terms of maybe 2 questions. One is when we talk about the biotech industry, what are some of the strengths, like a pharmaceutical or a diagnostic or other instruments?
Oh, very good question. So the segmentation is very well known. So there's quite a lot of medical devices companies that have been invested in the recent years. There's a lot of diagnostic companies that have come about also. Then we have the biosimilar companies which are developing and taking it to the next level. And then we have the bioagri, which is developing a lot because a lot of artificial intelligence and others are coming into play. So the bioagri is another big area that is coming up. And then we also have the allied areas especially in the industrial biotech that is coming up a lot, especially biofuels and other places.
Biofuels.
So there's quite a lot of segmentation there, which is now taking it to the next stage.
Okay. And my next question will be, when you talk about the investment into India, are they mostly coming from inside India or outside of India?
Well, we have a mix of both. There are funds that have been exclusively created in India by foreign companies as well as by Indian companies. Indian companies do raise money on their own. Foreign companies also do come and invest. But if you ask me, is it the best environment for investment? I would say no. There's still a long way to go. But the seed for getting those type of investment is slowly catching up. That's where it is. So I will also give you a very, very brief issue on what my company is doing. My company, Jananom, is into the cutting edge space of microbiome therapeutics. So live microbiome therapeutics. So I must be the first of the company in India to start this. Our idea is to engineer an anti-cancer drug inside a microbiome and send it for respiratory tract diseases. So that's the type of work that is going on in that part of the world, cutting edge and really up to the latest global trends.
To wrap it up, I have one last question. Is for a foreign company to get into India, like what kind of business partner are they looking for outside of India?
Oh, that's a good question actually, because you see, a company coming from foreign directly without a partner is not going to find itself in a great space, because you really need somebody to help you to come and handhold you there. So the type of companies that will be looking for partnerships are the just started grown-up companies where if there's synergy, you can see them come together. So those are the type of companies you should be looking for in the range between $20 to $50 million. Those are the small companies which are hungry, which wants to do business, and those are the type of companies you can actually look at.
Very good. Thanks for the information. And
thank you very much.
Murali.
Pleasure talking to you.